Welcome to the up end. Fuck! God damn it, Cortland. You fucked me.
Yo, his 5 fucked me up.
He said, and 5.
I'm not editing this out. Just go.
All right, fuck it. Welcome to the Up and Over podcast, where a bunch of marks discuss pro wrestling, where everything's a work and their opinions don't even matter.
Introducing first, sitting in his living room that looks like a guest bedroom, the one, the only, Casey El Gordo Gringo.
Hi.
Making his way into the podcast, channeling his inner Eddie Guerrero when looking at his brand new baby daughter, screaming, "I'm your puppy." This is Cortland!
Hello.
And your current curator, the one, the only, living in the hellhole known as South Carolina. This is Big Money Mike!
He got so excited he clipped his own mic.
Yo.
Holy shit.
Oh, man. Oh, I'm sweating, fellas. This is being recorded on Tuesday because, you know, Thanksgiving festivities.
Tuesday, November 23rd.
Yep. So that is why we're missing Sir Ethan. Should I fucking introduce them? I don't have anything
It's
written down
fine.
for it.
The two missing proponents to the podcast. Firstly, the Cadillac Cowboy. The man that frames anything in his hands. We miss Sir Ethan Lewis. And the other, his tag team partner. The man that walks into the room when we're recording and we're live, saying words that I can't say. We miss one Patty Mills.
So last episode never happened. This is officially the last episode of the podcast ever.
Oh, this is bad. This is not good.
Anyways, we don't have a couple people on the podcast this week because of the holidays. They will be deeply missed. Today we are covering Backlash 2003. But
I truly
before,
think I speak for both of them, right? In saying that they're not missing out on the greatest pay-per-view.
they ain't missing out on shit. I think
We'll
they
get to
saw.
that.
I think they figured out what pay-per-view we're doing, and they were like,
Let's line this one up.
My schedules is not going to line up.
Let's line this one up.
I at least wanted to cover two things that had happened this week in wrestling. We're not going to talk about last week. It didn't happen. It got deleted. First and foremost,
Thanks, Casey's PC.
actually, it was just me. Let's be honest. I deleted it on accident. First of all, Scotty 2 Hotty announced that he was granting his release from NXT, and basically was like, it became less about a passion and more about a paycheck, and he was like, I'm not cool with that, so therefore I'm fucking leaving.
Yeah. I mean, good for him, though, right? With all the changes that NXT have made recently, going to NXT 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
I think the writing's probably on the wall for a lot of those old heads, even like your producers, you know what I mean?
Well, it almost kind of sounded like the way he wrote it was just like he got really complacent, and probably without saying a lot was probably really frustrated with some of the decisions that they were going for, and it was just like, I don't want to just fucking be here to clock in, clock out every day. He was a trainer for 5 years?
Yeah, and you guys think that shit definitely does something to your morale whenever you've trained how many people, and all these people that you've busted your ass and busted your own blood and sweat for end up getting released in no time, and it feels like all that effort was for nothing.
For naught, yeah.
You know, because you don't see them get the success where you're at, so you can't enjoy it with them.
Could you imagine seeing all these people for years on end, and then have your boss fire Impact Wrestling's roster worth of people in 2 days? That's fucking insane.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's pretty insane, really. Like, that sounds funny, haha, right? But, like, that's a whole
it's
lot
like-
of people losing their jobs.
It's like the only way like
Yeah.
you can even talk about it is to kind of chuckle because of the insanity of it. But then it's like, yeah, when you really break it down, it's like you've got like multiple like couples moved to NXT, and they both got fired within like days or weeks of each other. So it's like an entire household's out of income. Like, it's just fucking nuts. So yeah, I can only imagine after a while he was like, I'm fucking over it.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of me sitting
Yeah.
here and helping these people? Like,
And is he going to be an isolated situation, or is it going to be like the first domino that falls with some people leaving? You know what I mean?
yeah.
I mean, it's gonna tell the test of time. You know, either he's a big pillar for that company, and there's a lot of people that rely on him, and it will show a domino effect, or it's just going to be one of those people that stands out, but then it goes back into being quiet and pushed under the
Fizzles out
rug.
after a couple
Yeah.
weeks. Yeah.
But something that is probably not going to fizzle out is Seth Rollins got attacked by a fan. And don't do that shit. Don't.
It's funny.
Dude.
It's fucked up,
So
but his reasoning.
So, okay. It's funny overall because, like, first of all, like, you're an absolute insane human to even think it was smart for you to hop over a guardrail and try to attack a fucking grown-ass man live on television. The fact that he was able to get out of jail the next day, like, just out on bail, seems kind of impressive. Seems like it's a little too low of a bail. But like the stuff that's come out in the last 24 hours, both his reasoning and then like some speculation that came out has been interesting. So some of the speculation that came out was that apparently, and like this is all allegedly because like no one's been able to confirm any of it, but like people had scoured the internet and found screenshots that like the dude was in conversation with like a catfished Seth Rollins account and had been like trying to do like some business dealings with him.
Not
And
with-
I mean, like some like it's all bad, and it happened a couple of years ago. Like it was like in like 2019 when this all started.
Yeah.
So there's like a lot going on, but then he comes out of jail today. And I have it screenshotted because I didn't want to get it wrong. And quote, "Good morning, guys. I'm out. That was me on WWE. I was booked from Goldberg and Vince McMahon, and I jumped over the barricade because I told Vince McMahon I had personal beef with Colby Lopez.
Colby Lopez.
This man, I'm only assuming he's referring to Vince McMahon, pronouns pal. Did not tell Colby I was going to be there, and there was personal beef between me and Colby, and he knows what he's done. So as a related to the tribal chief and a tribal chief cousin," and then he comments Royal Fatu's Instagram handle. He's like, "I did what I had to do." And then I shit you not, he quotes, "I did it for Rikishi. I did it for The Rock."
I did it for The Rock. That's the only part that's funny to me. Because like,
It's
dude,
hilarious.
you're gonna, like Pat said, I sent it to him before I sent it to the group, and the first thing he said, he was like, "Dude, I mean, fuck this guy for doing it, but like also doing it and then going online and keeping kayfabe."
I did it.
It's
I did
fucking
it for
awesome.
The Rock.
It's so
I did it for the people.
Even like Ringside News was just like, the motherfucker quotes a like 20-year-old promo.
Oh,
If I did it
so
for The
good.
Rock. The second funniest thing besides the fact that he quotes that is Chavo Guerrero goes on. he goes on to Twitter. And once again, per Chavo Guerrero goes, "Remember when wrestlers were tougher than the fans? Ah, the good old days."
Yeah, there's some people mad about that tweet. I am not one of them.
I think it's funny.
Yeah,
I'll give
But,
Seth the benefit of the doubt. He had no idea this
fair.
motherfucker was booking ass.
That guy ran
defense,
full
he
goddamn
got-
clip.
He ran a
Exactly.
4.40, like tackled this motherfucker like a football player,
Yeah, he
Waterboy
tackled him.
style.
And with no time at all, Seth was able to roll over Colby, whoever.
Colby Lopez.
Colby Lopez. Okay, hold on. How are you gonna
He was
break
able to catch him
kayfabe?
in, like,
How are
But
you
then,
gonna
like-
break kayfabe and then keep kayfabe at the same time by dropping his actual name? But then, like, you're like, I was booked by Goldberg and Vince McMahon.
Yeah, but like, what was I saying? Seth immediately got him and like almost got him in a full guillotine in like 2 seconds and rolled.
Oh yeah, no,
Um,
he
and then
rolled and kicked him in the
And then
face.
the ref. And then this ref just fucking like
People underestimate that shit.
He just smashed into him. I was like, why isn't that man a wrestler? Jesus, he's got a better side tackle than Keith Lee.
Most of the
Yeah, this-
of the refs are sitting at about 6 feet tall.
Yeah, this
They're all
husky
normal
piece
si-
of dog shit in AEW when it was Jericho MJF, like fucking Justin Roberts grabs this son of a bitch with one hand and just yeets his ass off the fucking
Yeah.
stage.
Dude, shout out Justin Roberts. What a
I just
man.
want to know whatever shoes that guy had, because I've always kind of assumed that like the entrance area was kind of slippery because of like all the LED panels, and he cut
made
that
it.
corner without a problem. He full clip around that corner and tackled a grown man. Like it was. Whew.
What else is on the docket for the week? Is that it? Is
Kenny
that all
Omega
that-
relinquished the AAA championship because of the injuries, and we didn't get that because I don't know what happened in last week's episode there. But Kenny,
I didn't do it.
we wish you well. I know Cortland's not the biggest fan, but losing somebody the stature of Kenny Omega is
Yeah,
not
shoot.
good for wrestling in general, right? So,
And like I said
definitely-
last week, and I want to reiterate,
Sure.
just because I'm not the biggest Kenny fan doesn't mean that I don't want him to get healthy and do the best for himself and do the best for the people that he's facing in the ring. Like I've said before, last thing you want to do is hurt yourself. Even worse, much worse, hurt somebody else, because you don't want to hurt anybody either. So
Yeah.
take care of yourself and get back to doing 5-star matches. Fucking
soon, brother. Hell yeah.
I love when you're like, I'm gonna say something kind of nice, and then you're like, I'm gonna refrain from saying something mean. I want to cut myself off, brother. Well,
all right. Well,
guess
y'all
it's
ready to
time.
jump into Backlash 2003? Held on April 27th, 2003. Brought to you by Gastro GTX.
Hell yeah.
You don't want sludge, brother. And I believe we're at the how do you say
The
this?
Worcester Centrum in
Worcester
Worcester,
Centrum.
Massachusetts.
Worcester.
Yes, sir. The attendance of 10,000, the buy rate of 345,000 pay-per-views. It is just on the heels of WrestleMania, and this is the 5th Backlash pay-per-view for the company. And this event reportedly grossed 450,000 at opening gate. So that's pretty wild. And the highlights for this opener is just The Rock and Goldberg. You don't get any flashes of any other teams or anything like that. It's just Goldberg's 170 something, 173.
No. This wasn't just a promo package for Goldberg and The Rock. There was
No,
one
it's the
thing
whole
said in the,
pay-per-view.
there was one thing said in the
It's The
entire
Rock.
thing, right? It
Yeah.
was that The Rock said, "I've done it all," and Goldberg's done nothing on repeat 50 fucking times.
Can we also just talk about how, so like I have the standard background of Backlash, like the actual graphic of it, but
Thank
if you actually look up like the actual cover that you would have gotten like on a DVD or VHS or any of those, it looks like a Kurt Angle memorial, because it's fucking Team Angle, and then in the background is like a kind of like blurred out Kurt Angle. It's just Shelton Benjamin, fucking Charlie Haas standing there, and then it's like Kurt Angle's like watching over them like he's fucking Mufasa. Like
Yeah.
Which is
this
funny.
had to have been a promo picture taken before the injury, right?
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I hope so.
I mean, it has to be, right?
Because it's funny when you're like, you literally, like, that's the cover. I think even like on Peacock, that's the photo of the thumbnail for the pay-per-view, but then the entire promo package is just, fuck you, Goldberg. Like,
Yeah, what a doozy of a fucking night we're in store for, fellas. This is that's fine. Remedy by Cold plays us into the arena. Again, pretty telling of the time. Jonathan Coachman and Jerry Lawler welcome us. Then we get passed to Michael Cole and Taz as we jump into our first match, Cortland.
Oh god, what is our first match? It is the
First
Team
match.
Angle versus oh god, I didn't have it even written down.
Los Guerreros for the
Guerreros.
WWE
Sorry.
Tag Team Championships. That's the SmackDown Championships that we're looking at here.
Yes, sir. It's 15 minutes and 3 seconds, just shy of 15. And they come out looking badass, Los Guerreros, that is. But quick roll-ups and takeovers are for the start of this match. This is a tag team specialist fans match, in my opinion. We see a lot of Team Angle control Eddie for majority of the match. Chavo is on fire with a hot tag that the crowd enjoyed, surprisingly. Eddie does an illegal frog splash in this match, causing Shelton to get involved while Chavo attempts a cover. But Shelton pulls Chavo's feet, making the save for his team. Eddie attempts to get the better of Benjamin outside, but lands himself on the wrong side of the steel steps. And Haas reverses a back suplex near the ropes, letting Shelton hold down Chavo's legs, causing the 3 count. And just before we go any further in this match, me running through that doesn't take away from how badass this match is.
Yeah.
I always enjoy tag matches, especially when a team can really work it, splitting the ring in half. This is just goes on our now weekly statement of Team Angle. If they would have been around today, man, we really are talking about potentially one of the greatest tag teams of all time.
If not the greatest, right?
Yeah, because, dude, it's just unbelievable, the chemistry they had with every body in the ring. And they're able to jump in with just anyone and make anything magic. But, I mean, you got them and Chavo and Eddie. And Chavo at this time, I was heavily behind Chavo. He looked fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
He was really coming into his own, really enjoying being at WWE finally, it felt like. Even early in the match, you have Eddie that's selling, like wanting to get the early advantage, but you have Chavo just throwing themselves up on the ropes and him just laying across it and just being an asshole. Like, that's when Chavo's at his best.
It's good.
Yeah.
You know? The post-match, however, is pretty funny because Team Angle came out with a portrait of Kurt Angle. And this portrait is fucking awesome. And it sits outside of the ring, right at the ramp, during and after the match. They set it up, and it's really cool that Eddie assists Chavo with a dive, I believe, over the top, or it might have been reversed.
It was over, yeah.
Over the top, and they crash and they land, breaking the portrait. Mess up the portrait, and I just love that, the little shit that they were able to do, and really keeping Angle important even when he's not there. Because I mean, it's obvious that this man is. Because somebody else I would have rather had on this. Instead, we got Brock Lesnar and John Cena.
We're not about to shit talk that match. That was like the second match on this fucking card.
I know, but it was. It's hard. We skipped over something. Sunday Night Heat, which I just want to point out me shitting on Scott Steiner for last month. How the mighty have fallen.
Relegated to Sunday Night Heat.
In a 2-minute and 28-second match against Rico.
Yeah, fucking bad.
Nice.
To jump on the tag team match though, Shelton Benjamin hasn't even been like a professional wrestler for 3 years at this point.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane to think how good he is in such a short period of time. I love the back and forth in this. And then I just have another pay-per-view, another fucking great match from Team Angle, or World's Greatest Tag Team, and Los Guerreros. The finish to me was unique, with Shelton cutting Chavo's legs out from underneath him, a mid-back suplex, allowing Charlie to pick up the 3 count.
That became like a not a staple, but like they definitely like started to utilize that more. Like even just on like SmackDowns, and even if it wasn't an actual 3 count, like they that was like the first time I think that they really did it, and like they kept doing it, and I was like, I like that.
And it's grown from there.
It's
grown from there. You see tag teams like during roll-ups. Now you see them jumping in the ring and using their feet for leverage to help their opponent or their teammate. Right. And that's really cool, man. I love little spots like that.
Yep. I had the last thing I had on the match was all for Kurt, baby.
Yeah, and also the Guerreros steal the championships as they
literally steal them.
Yeah, they steal them, and they run away with them. Even though Charlie Haas and Shelton got the W, we get Eddie jumping in one of his whips that are just badass.
Is this like the first time we actually see like we really start getting like Eddie with the lowriders, and then
maybe
like. I know, because like I know when he was doing like his thing with China, like they would like be like in the parking lot type of a thing, and they would get out of one. But I think like this is actually like the first time, and then thus going forward, I think we actually start getting Los Guerreros in the lowrider for their entrances. Like I think they started they slowly, because everyone loved it. They were like, it's fucking great. Like,
yeah, where'd y'all go in this match?
Casey.
So I went 3 1/4. I mean, like it's it's a 4. It's a 4 for you. I mean, like I'm not even saying like it probably could have gone higher in my brain when I watched this. Like, that's just what I gave it. Like off the top of my head. I did a little bit of research for this match, and I don't know if you guys knew this. But did you know that the Guerreros lie, cheat, and steal? Because Taz and Michael Cole made sure you knew about 75 times in this fucking match. Every other thing, it was like, oh, it's a nice suplex by Charlie Haas. Fucking the Guerreros lie, cheat, and steal. And I was like, okay, we get it. Jesus, fuck. Yeah. I mean, overall, it was a good match. I loved the amount of isolation that they did on Eddie to give Chavo the hot tag and the cheer for that,
because he needed it, man. He really did.
I loved the amount of just fake tags that Eddie did, where he would just and then would get out and like he would, and then he would clap himself back in again. Like he would constantly do it. I was like, it's funny because like you have like the clear like everyone wants Los Guerreros to win, everyone wants Team Angle to lose, but then like they're both doing kind of heel shit because like no babyface team is gonna do like fucking that's a heel thing. So it's like it's funny to watch that happen, but yeah, I mean 3 1/4. That's what I gave it. Mike.
All right, Mike, what'd you give it?
I went 3 3/4. I enjoyed the match a lot. I thought it was a great match. It was really, really entertaining, and for me, it was the best match on the card. Crazy that you open up with that fucking match because nothing really even came close to it.
I gave it 3.5.
Oh, see, we're all fucking right there. It's fine.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
Oh,
I was like, I thought I fucked up and went too low.
Yeah, it's a great opener. But next up, we get something that's not so great. We get a Test and Tori segment in the back where Tori asks Tess to stop calling her and leave her alone. And Tori says that Stacey is her best friend. Tess says she sees the pics. He sees the pics in Playboy. He knows
pictures
that she wants
1,000 words. Those pictures are telling me that you want me. You want
me.
Yeah,
dude,
bad.
I could not write
Fucking gross.
I couldn't write it. I wasn't even going to say it.
I want to give a special shout out to the cameraman who had to creepily behind a
he's
forklift.
Like behind truss and bike racks.
He's like, I'm getting all this good shit for you, Vince.
But then he hands and it's in the middle of a hallway. Like
it's in the middle of a hallway, and he like before they inevitably do like the kiss part, he like fucking out of like he's like I'm here, and then it ends with the creepiest fucking Sable just standing in a doorway like I watched the whole thing.
Yeah, it's awful, man.
God,
it's so bad. So Tess does land a kiss on her. She hates it. She tries to slap him. Yeah. Forces, dude. Oh man, I hate it.
Don't do it, boys. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Great job, Tess, you piece of dog shit.
Jeez.
God. Anyways,
This was fucking creepy. And the only other thing that I
awful.
have written is that Test looks high as a motherfucker in this segment.
because
He looks
probably had to be to do this.
gone.
He got into Jeff Hardy's stash.
That's it. Got into drugged up Jeff. We got drugged up Test. Like it's.
Oh god. Well, next we've got Roddy Piper coming out.
He came out with a big pop with a wicker basket of coconuts. What the fuck?
He's got a
2003?
lovely bunch of coconuts.
I'm fucking upset that you said that.
Oh
he
man, this
fucking
match.
says it.
I know, and that's why I'm upset that you said it.
He comes out and he introduces Sean O'Haire as the new Millennium Wrestler.
Yeah.
To which
Yeah.
he then comes out to the worst goddamn entrance song for someone who like.
Just say
we're
it, 'cause
gonna
I know
go
it's on the tip
ahead.
of your tongue, 'cause I have it.
Sean O'Haire himself looks impressive at the time. Like but he's like a big dude. Like I don't know about the weird leather raincoat he's wearing, but
Oh,
like
dude, he looked like he was from Blade 2. It's fucking sick.
I know, he should have come out to techno music. But like he's coming out, he's supposed to be with Piper. Like Piper's supposed to be helping this guy because like clearly like Vince wants him to be something he never became. And then it's like you have him coming out to like fucking track 2 on Create Your Wrestler, and it's like good shit.
You didn't even scroll far enough to find the hidden gem. You just picked the shittiest, like.
You were like, the first one's not good, and then the second
You're
one
like,
was a
fuck
rock.
you.
It was like rock track 1. You're like, fucking that song.
That's the one. Hell yeah.
And then he wrestles Rikishi.
Go ahead, Cortland.
Mhm. Well, Rikishi rushes in. The match starts rather fast after a cat and mouse game outside. And O'Haire controls the pace, which is boring as shit. And Piper comes in with a coconut while O'Haire and Rikishi land simultaneous super kick and a roundhouse kick. Piper in again, but Rikishi hits him with coconut for Snuka. Fucking woo, murder. And O'Haire lands his finisher. And that's it. 4 minutes, 52 seconds. A solid star, no more, no less.
All right. I'm going to read exactly what I have.
I wrote
This,
you exactly what I...
this wasn't very good.
No.
O'Haire was poised to be the next breakout guy, and Lord knows they tried helping him get there. The crowd was more invested in whatever the hell was going on in the crowd rather than the match itself. I guess the big payoff was finally seeing Piper get what he had coming to him, as Rikishi cracks him with a coconut, then throws up the super pose. Old Jimmy Snuka, what a killer. O'Haire, off the distraction, hits Rikishi with the prophecy for the pinfall victory. I gave it 1.25 stars.
So I had also wrote something happened very early on in the match in the crowd. I don't know what the fuck it was, but you saw just about every single person get up and then turn to the fucking side, and they're like, we don't give a shit about what's happening in this match, because I think a fight broke out or something, because they lost their fucking minds
There's
out there.
boos and cheers. I don't know what the case
I don't know. It was like fucking like the Royal Rumble and like a surprise entrance pop. It was fucking insane. Like I went back to be like, did I miss something? Because like sometimes I'll catch it or like I'll hear something, but like they were just like, nope, fuck this match, and they went over.
This was SmackDown, right? So like Cole and Taz are on the call.
We went back to back SmackDown matches, and
But
they even made a comment.
At the moment, they're like, "Oh, must be O'Haire's or Roddy Piper's antics." I'm like, "No, motherfucker, they're over there. Like they're all the way over there."
Yeah, it was so noticeable that they could not comment on it, but they were like trying to play it off that like Piper was doing something, and it's like they're not even like it's not even the same side that he's on right now that's making this noise. Yeah, I don't know if any of you caught this, but I did.
Oh, here we go.
The first stink face attempt, Michael Cole made a Flavor Saver reference about Sean O'Haire's facial hair. He's like, it's a good thing he's got that mustache and goatee. And even Taz is like, what the fuck are you doing? And I was like, this is not good.
We can almost single-handedly blame Michael Cole and Taz's commentary at this time for fucking promos for the next 20 years. Great job, cocksuckers.
I never thought I would say this because a couple of pay-per-views ago I had said that Cole or that Coach and King was a bad combination, but like holy shit, they are miles ahead of whatever the fuck is going on.
You sure about that, dude? Because we're only a few matches away from
They're
Jerry
not
Lawler.
great. It's not much better, but like they were in shambles the whole fucking night. Taz was not even in the building, basically. Like his brain was fucking elsewhere, and it was bad. This match was bad. I did not care for Piper being there at all. I did not care about the coconuts. I didn't care about the stupid fucking spot that's 20 years too old and no one gives a shit about.
It looked fucking good, though. That was the best part of the match.
Yeah, unfortunately, but like also just like you're supposed to be helping a talent. You have you have Piper who's been there for forever. You have Rikishi who's been there for fucking ever. You're supposed to be trying to help Sean O'Hare, and neither one of you fuckers did that. Like,
yeah. Nope.
I guess Star.
When Rikishi looks better than the guy that you're trying to put over, it's a bad day. Cortland, what is that koozie that you have? Just out of curiosity.
It's Steve Austin Stone Cold koozie.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought I saw. Okay, just got to make sure in my brain I was checking out right. Yeah. Moving forward.
But yeah, Star is well deserved.
If you could
all right. Well, moving
to
forward,
be a match, that was that match. It fucking sucked.
Well, moving forward, I wish we could skip over this too, but Sable approaches Stacy and tells her Tori isn't her friend.
I just want to put on
why
there.
Not? Why not? Because she tells Stacy that Test and Tori kissed earlier, and then she bailed on the fucking conversation in the middle of catering.
She was like, okay, bye. Yeah. I just wanted to note that because it wasn't catering, and like normally you're like wrestlers in catering, it should be somewhat decent food.
Celery sticks and tomatoes.
She had 2 cherry tomatoes and 1 broccoli tree on her little tiny plate, and then she drops it. And I'm like, that's...
No, I think my favorite part of this... My favorite part of this little segment is they're right next to the table with that guy that was serving Stacy, right? And then Sable goes, can we like go over here? And they take a single step. Guy's gonna hear it regardless, y'all.
I don't really want my personal business being aired out there, so can we just go, okay, better.
All right, we're far enough. Audibly popped at that. It was funny as fuck.
All right, we get more backstage shit here. We get a RBD and Kane thing. It's not really a promo. It just kind of sucks. It's painful. RBD says that he doesn't like that Chief Morley has made himself the special guest referee on Sunday Night Heat for their World Tag Team title match. And Kane says something that's very painful, like punishing, I should say. He's
like, I don't want to lose the titles. I'm enjoying being announced as the tag team champions. And Kane Kane says, if we're going down, we're taking them all down with us.
Oh, come on, allowed Glenn to talk.
The only thing I have written down here, it finally dawned on me. Every time I see Rob Van Dam ever, I'm like, what does he remind me of? Y'all ready for it? The live-action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie. He's a fucking real-life Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. That's him. It blew my fucking mind. I audibly laughed at that, too. Fuck Rob. I love Rob Van Dam. I'm going to say fuck Van
Dam. He just got married.
Yeah.
I think to is it Katie Forbes or whatever her name is? I don't want to... Kate Forbes, whatever. I don't know, but they just got
Katie
married.
Forbes, wow.
Last weekend or the weekend prior. Yeah. So kudos to them. But that dude has been stoned for the last 35 years.
I'm shocked that he even knows how to function. Truly,
I mean, I don't know if he doesn't know how to function without it.
Well, my man looks like he's living the best life, so I want him to keep living it up. We get welcomed back by King and Coach here, and they welcome down the Dudleys for this World Tag Team match with Kane and RVD. The match starts with Bubba pounding on RVD early, and this match is a beat-up RVD fest for, like, the most part. Match really kicks in with a Kane hot tag, and RVD involves himself, and Devon gets a draping neck breaker on him.
Looks great.
So on the turnbuckle, reversing a monkey flip from RVD, which is pretty sick spot. Chief Morley low blows Kane during a chokeslam attempt to Bubba. Kane kicks out of a surprise for the crowd. RVD ducks a chokeslam from Val. Clothesline, sorry. Definitely a clothesline from Val. Which I noticed in this match, there's like fucking 40 some odd clotheslines.
Dude.
It's just like constant, dude. We get Lance Storm run in, and they said it's the first time he's been back since 3 weeks, and they used it like this crazy that he's been gone forever.
Yeah, wow, he's back.
Wow.
He's been gone for 3 weeks. Like,
Yeah. It's just because William Regal almost fucking died, literally.
Yeah.
Not a big deal.
Lance Storm run in that catches Devon with a shoulder block. Bubba Bomb for his troubles. 3D on Chief Morley, Val Venus. Kane big booted Devon. Choke slammed to Bubba. And RVD with a beautiful 5-star. And that is your wrap up. Yeah.
Bubba beat the shit out of
don't wanna
RVD in the beginning. He fucked
I don't
him
want to
up.
say that this is a bad match. I enjoy this match for the most part. It's way better than I remembered it being.
It's fine.
I want to give some props to Chief Morley. I mean, you're a decent referee.
So,
Yeah.
okay.
You were just in bad spots on camera. But
Okay. I'm going to take the floor on this one. First of all,
Gone Morley.
Lance Storm takes the fucking just perfect Bubba Bomb. Like, he's like 8 feet in the fucking air before he lands on his ass. It was great. You have a segment before the match talking about how we're worried that Chief Morley's the referee. Chief Morley is clearly, even if anyone listening to this hasn't seen any of it leading up, like, clearly he's been trying for weeks to get the belts off of Kane and RVD. He clearly wants the Dudleys to win. He is, for the most part, the most unbiased referee the entire
that's what
time.
I was saying. It's a good referee.
Besides him literally doing the low blow, even after his low blow, it is the most standard 2 count. Not even a fast 2. It is a solid 2 count before he kicked. It was the one thing that like really irritated me about the match was like you have all of the commentating in this match was, when is he gonna screw them? When is he gonna screw them? And then he just basically fucking doesn't. He ends up taking a bump to like.
He almost sets himself up every time he goes to pin. He's like getting there fast, and he's like, "Oh, hold on, one."
Like,
Chief,
even
no, that's a fucking. He shot
there
door
was-
2.
There was
2.
even a
Like-
couple of times to where like Coach and King were like, that was honestly kind of a generous 2 count. They were it takes you out of the match because you're just like, I'm waiting for them to get fucked over, and he's like, nope, I just graduated referee school. I'm calling this down the fucking middle. Like, he needed, like, there is plenty of fucked up refs in the back to be like, this is how you get it done. Like, don't
Nick
worry.
Patrick's out there. Like, what the fuck? Let him get it out.
Nick, I gotta talk to you for like 2 minutes about how to be a shitty referee, and he's like, don't worry, I got you, kid.
I got you, buddy.
Well, it's a good match. I believe I
was gonna
gave
say
this
Corbin.
match 3 1/4.
Woo!
Surprised me. I actually liked this match. I know it's high.
Okay, so take the last part of yours and then change your 3 to a 2, and then you've got my rating. Because
You went
2
2 1/4?
Yeah, it wasn't like the worst fucking match in the world, but also just like those like little nitpicky things. It just was like,
Yeah,
Well, here's
it
my
was-
thing: is that there wasn't any really bad spots in the match. Everyone was always there where they were supposed to be. It told the story that it was supposed to, and you still left with Kane and RVD as your champions, which everyone wanted, and you got to see Chief Morley catch a 3D, even though that was the team that you thought he was going to be cheering for at the end of the night. And we all got a surprise at the end, and I'm not going to, I just wish that it could have been, given less time. I think it could have told its story a little faster. But I mean, it's hard to have a fast match with Kane because like he's not fast.
Fast and Kane do not.
Yeah, you know. So like you
thought-
gotta go the Kane pace. But you know, I like the
thought
match.
Kane,
You know?
I thought Kane filled his role really well.
Yeah. But
You know what they
But
didn't
this-
do is they didn't
this
fuck with his
match just-
mask.
This
They
match
should've
just
just
did
moved it.
nothing. Did nothing for me. I watched this match back and I was like, "Wow, waiting for all right, it's over." What the fuck? Like, it just felt like it didn't really get its legs to it. I
it
did.
was 13 minutes long though.
Yeah, it's long as fuck.
Yeah.
I did pop because they kept talking about the potential dissension between Devon and Bubba, right? And Devon, like Bubba gets hit with the clothesline, boom, right? Takes the big bump, he goes out, whatever. Devon and Chief Morley start fighting. And then out of nowhere, Chief Morley just grabs Bubba and beats the shit out of him. And it's like, there was supposed to be tension here, and you fucking ruined it, you dickhead. So fuck Chief Morley, fuck Sean Morley, fuck him.
I think that was what I missed from my notes. I was like, it was a combination of having the constant talk about like Devon's not fucking happy with the situation we're in, and then Chief Morley's gonna fuck over Rob Van Dam and Kane. And like neither one of those really fucking happened. So I'm just like, what was the point of us talking about all of it?
Yeah, it just felt like a lot of wasted time. I don't know if I said what I went. I went 2.5. It was fine. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. Super forgetful.
It is quite forgetful. Well, something else that is not
Forgettable.
forgetful. Next up, we get Stacy and Tori throwing down in the locker room, and King screams, "Pull her top!" And that's pretty much it.
I don't know how I missed that. I missed that.
My only note is just another Tori and Stacy segment. It was like in all caps, like we're really doing this
essentially,
now.
Stacy walks up and says, "You got something to tell me," or some shit like that. And then
I know.
I know. And then Tori's like, "Oh, you know, I'm
Thank
so
God.
glad."
Oh my God.
Because they're
And
in.
she's like, "You kiss," and she was like, "He kissed me," and she's like, "You bitch!" Fucking, and then I was like,
Fucking
so-
forearm
okay,
to the
so
face.
so if
Get
no,
it on.
so because we were tortured in watching this, and
Oh.
I'm hoping no. Honestly, if you're listening, just listen to us. You don't need to watch it. It's fine.
"No,
It's fucking bad.
To paint the picture,
it's not worth it."
they are in the women's locker room. So there's all the other female wrestlers are around them. And when they start the fight, you've got them kind of split between like, they want to break it
Heels
up. Another thing, I missed it like in my notes because I was just irritated that we had to watch this. But Victoria is in the background pushing people, basically just being like, let them work it out. Like she's just like,
Yeah, dude,
she
it's so
literally, if you watch her, she mouths like, let them fight.
It's insane.
I think I was probably laughing at that when
Shut
fucking
up, Victoria, dude.
when
What a
King's like,
badass.
pull her top off. So, God damn it.
We're not even done with that segment yet, so just
No.
move on to the next one.
Yeah. Well, next up is a way better situation. It's for the women's championship match. It's Jazz with Teddy Long versus Trish Stratus. And this match is just shy of 6 minutes, 5 minutes and 50 seconds. And Teddy grabs the mic and guarantees Jazz victory. Jazz says, "Believe that the bitch is back."
And
And the bitch is black.
Yeah, yeah.
And that shit is tough as fuck.
Good shit.
Good shit. We get a face-to-face that starts it off, and Jazz powers on display early. And Jazz exposes the middle turnbuckle, causing the ref not to count. A backslide pin by Trish, and Jazz catches Trish's leg in the corner and applies a badass half Boston Crab, which
Very sick.
looked fucking devastating because she just falls hard as hell. Trish reverses a pin attempt into a full Boston Crab of her own before transitioning into a mean STF that I thought was really cool. Her leg was fucking up there. There's a long ass Jazz pushing the rope for a break. There's a great chick kick here that looked fucking devastating to me. Versus a back suplex lands to Stratusfaction, but Teddy breaks the count with his shoe, which I think is fucking awesome.
It's good shit.
Teddy Long throws in a shoe, breaks it up, and when the ref looks at him, he points at this random fat dude in the front row. He was like, "Is that motherfucker right there?"
Wasn't me playing up.
Just like that. Is that motherfucker right there?
I'm gonna make him go 1-on-1 with the Undertaker.
Oh, that shit's great, man. Trish Stratus throws it back, but Trish attempts another Stratisfaction, but Jazz sits on Trish and holds the rope for the 3 count. I enjoyed this match, surprisingly, a lot more than the WrestleMania Triple Threat. Even though I do obviously love Victoria, as I just said, I just felt like it gave them a little bit more room for Jazz to shine, so that way she can really see what she can do on the main stage. I really wish it could have gone maybe another minute longer. Just a shy minute. And I think it could have done something even cooler. I gave it 2.5 stars. I wanted to go a little bit higher, but I feel like I got made fun of. But, as a solid
For me,
women's
you
match,
certainly
for sure.
would have. I thought
I
it
mean,
was
for
good.
this era, it's definitely a solid
Yeah.
women's match.
It was a great match. Trish did a really good job of selling her ribs, even on the walkout. Like she was like doing the finger point, but was like kind of grabbing her ribs. Good shit. Theodore Long, not Teddy Long at this point.
Theodore, you're right.
Theodore Long throwing his shoe at Trish made me die.
It's funny as fuck.
It wasn't just a toss. He fucking quarterbacked this bitch. He threw it like a football going 45 yards. He launched this shit. It hits her and you see her eyes go, "What the fuck was that?" I thought it was good shit. I went 1 3/4 on the match. I thought it was just it was
You went what? I'm sorry?
1 3/4.
Okay.
When he threw the shoe, I
Couldn't
immediately
give it 2.
couldn't give it a 2. No, not even for the shoe throw.
Couldn't give it a 2.
Couldn't give it a fucking 2.
You couldn't.
Not even wanted
Couldn't
to.
give it a 2.
I'll change it for the shoe toss right to a 2-star. Fuck it.
There we go.
We're live, pal. Fuck it.
When he threw the shoe, though, my brain immediately thought of Austin Powers being like, "Who throws a shoe?"
Honestly.
Honestly, he's like that. Yeah, she was like, "What the fuck, dude?" And then had him selling it, being like, "That guy."
It was that fucking piece
Even
of
the
shit
fans
right
were
there.
just like, "Bruh, you fucking whiffed that shit."
And like this motherfucker's obviously standing there, and like they get like the wide shot, and he has 1 shoe on, white sock. It's fucking awesome.
Also, like,
How ridiculous.
obviously, Trish is like the favorite going in the match. Everyone loves her, and like, you have the clear as day heel, and Jazz didn't get booed really. She just got like the most smattering applause from like 20 people, just like it was like
it was like whatever. I'll give her a
even
clap,
even
I
like when they're like
guess. Who
stealing the win, you would think that she would get like booed, but everyone just didn't give a fuck at that point. They're like, we just watched Stacy and fucking Tori again. Like, we don't care.
Bad placement.
Yeah.
Placement.
I gave it 2 1/4.
Oh wow, I shit on this apparently. Sorry, fellas. Whoopsies.
I mean, like, yeah, it's like it was fine. Like, honestly, like, without Theodore being there, like, I pop every time I see him. I love the little man.
Theodore.
I literally wrote Teddy Long Playa is the first thing I wrote in my notes because I forgot he was our
Theodore.
manager for a minute. But yeah,
Holy hell.
yeah. God damn it, dude.
Theodore. Fuck off.
Well, next we get Shawn, Booker, and Nash in the back. That's Shawn Michaels, Booker T, and Kevin Nash. And Nash says to make sure to leave Triple H for him. And
Hell yeah.
That's about it for that. And then
Sean
next
said
up,
it wasn't his first rodeo, which I fucking hate the way that you pronounce that.
I
shit.
hated
you.
that.
I wrote
But next up, I wish we could skip because it's attempted murder.
I need. Hold on. I literally need what Casey wrote about that.
I was like Booker, Big Daddy Cool, HBK segment, and I was like, insert Kevin Nash tearing quad joke.
I was like, is this a match that he tears his quad?
No,
But I feel like
I haven't written.
this is the anomaly where he doesn't. You know what I mean? That's how often it felt like he was fucked up.
yeah, I was.
Oh
just
yeah,
like,
I have it written Kevin Calf.
this okay. So the next match all three of us, or at least two of us, I don't know about, I can't say for certain with Cortland, but me and Mike
I
at least.
messaged the group chat in real time. I see Ray come up, boom, for his entrance, and I'm like, oh, this is the one. Like, I was just like, what guys here?
The match is happening, and I'm like, why does this match feel like? Because like it's Big Show versus Rey Mysterio. I can give a
I was gonna say, let's announce that, right?
I can give a rat's ass about this match, but the whole time the match is going on, I'm like, this seems really familiar, and I don't know why. And then what happens.
I need a refill.
Go ahead, you're fine.
What ends up happening in the match happens, and I went, oh yeah, that happened.
Can we talk about how the build for this match
so,
was literally Mysterio bullying Big Show?
So basically, for a couple of weeks, they have little segments where it's like Big Show tripped because of Ray, and like Big Show tripped again because he's a big clumsy man, and Ray Mysterio's
big
so
and
tiny,
stupid,
like
dumb as fuck.
And it's just Big Show getting more and more mad because he's like clumsy and falls a bunch. So like the worst fucking reason for a match to happen is like I tripped over some stairs and everyone laughed at me. I will say I forgot how, like, you forget sometimes how small Rey Mysterio is until he is in a ring alone with fucking Big Show, and you're like, oh my god, that's a fucking child.
Yeah. When you were gone, I just mentioned how the build for the match was literally Rey Mysterio bullying Big Show. It is shocking.
Yeah.
How this build was shown in that promo video. I was like, something ain't right here. Like, what the fuck is this?
Rey Mysterio is a bully, confirmed.
The first time that they show him fall, he gets 619 around the fucking turnbuckle. Boom, he gets hit. And he's like, like he just fucking takes for just fucking falling in slow motion, waving in the fucking wind. I don't know. Structurally, the match was a squash match. Ray got all his offense in quickly. He hit a trifectas of 619s on Big Show. He got caught in air while attempting his West Coast pop, and Big Show chokeslam Mysterio from the heavens for the 3.
Yep. You want to tell them what happens after that?
Oh, I will. What'd you go on that one, Cortland?
I gave it a star for the match, but I give the segment afterwards -1 star.
I
kind of enjoyed it. Casey,
collectively, I didn't hate the match.
You enjoyed this. Wait a minute. You enjoyed this more than you enjoyed Jazz and Trish Stratus match?
No. You're not there yet.
Let's calm down a little bit, buddy.
Yeah.
It was one of those ones where it's like you just show it's like because the whole match is still like you're playing the cat and mouse. You've got Big Show's trying to grab little tiny Ray, and like Ray's actually gotten some spots on him, and it's like oh fuck, is he actually gonna win this match? And it's like nope, you get chokeslammed from fucking 15 feet in the fucking air, straight onto your fucking head, basically.
And it sounded bad too. Like when he landed, I was like fucking gross sounding, dude. It sounded like somebody died.
We then get to cut to another installment of shit. Michael Cole says, after that backbreaker, those Carolina blue trunks may be a different color.
And then you had Taz go, Carolina blue? That's all he said.
I know. Michael Cole's literally like, he's got a flavor saver in the earlier, and now he's like, Rey Mysterio just shit his pants. And then dumbass, once again, Taz is his brain is still in like Philadelphia at this point. And he's like,
he just turned it in for
Carolina blue.
Like, Carolina blue. After the match, I gave it Casey, what did you give it for? Tackle that.
Including what happens, we're gonna give it a 1.75 stars.
I went 1.5 on this. Then EMTs come to the ring to stabilize Mysterio's neck after getting squashed like a fucking bug. They load him onto a back brace for a stretcher, and they strap him in. And here comes Big Show again. He grabs Ray on that backboard and just swings like fucking Barry Bonds or Mark McGuire against the ring post, and then just drops Ray, who you tell wasn't expecting to
fully strapped into a fucking back stretcher, swings him like a fucking baseball bat, and then drops him so he lands on his fucking face.
On his face.
I once again,
and as soon as he lands, it's like he tries to get one arm out as he knows he's coming.
It's like,
and he's
poof, and then he lands and he grabs his
Right.
face. He's like, "Oh, this hurts."
Yeah,
he's
but he
on the
immediately just
ground.
grabs his face like,
He gets dropped, and he's like, I can't breathe. He's like, I can't breathe right now. We're like, yeah, no shit. He just fucking imploded your lungs from the back. Once again,
The crowd did go fucking crazy for it.
Yeah, because no one's ever seen a grown man use another man like a fucking baseball bat and just fucking. In my notes, because once again I had forgotten that this was the match. In all caps, I went, "Oh yeah, this is when he uses Ray like a baseball bat." Attempted murder happens.
Well,
It was
next
good
up,
shit. I would watch that 100 times over before I watched Tori Wilson, Dawn Marie. God,
It's the fucking nastiest spot. Holy shit.
well, next we get Triple H, Ric Flair, and Chris Jericho promo. Jericho says that the greatest team in the world has been assembled, and Triple H even calls Jericho king of the world, which I actually found pretty surprising that they have ever said good things about each other on television.
nice little
Ever.
rub there too for Jericho. Truly.
Definitely. And that's it for that. Next we get
What the
last
fuck is
installment.
Chris Jericho's facial hair in this? Can we talk about it real quick? It
Oh,
looks like
no,
shit.
what?
Looks like shit. It looks like he sat in a dark room with just fucking UV lights on, like fucking night, like glow in the dark lights. And drugged out Jeff comes in and fucking shaves his facial hair for him. It
I'm gonna
looks
splash
fucking-
some. I'm gonna
Gonna
splash some
splash.
paint on you.
And
then
this is how he's splashing it on him. He's
where
just
the paint
fucking. And
This is
yeah,
like a
it was
straight-
fucking atrocious.
He just
It
has like
was
a
so
straight
bad.
handlebar mustache, doesn't he? Just like, that's it.
But it's like patchier than my piece of shit facial hair. It was like "Buh-buh-buh-buh-buh-buh-buh," and then it just stops like under his chin. And I'm
It's almost like Triple H saw that and was like, I could do that better.
I could do it better. Go ahead,
And then-
Cortland. Sorry for interrupting you there, bud.
You're good. We get Tori and Stacy again.
Oh,
So I will say in this one, however, I will say that Tori throws Stacy into this like a tool cart thing, right?
Yeah.
And there's like this bin. I don't really know
like
what's in
a
it, but
Rubbermaid,
it's like
a fucking plastic
clear
Rubbermaid
storage bin, yeah. And
plummets.
it's just fucking falls right on her end, and you know she's not ready for it.
No.
She just hits like, oh no, it's like straight fucking down. She just goes straight down.
She's like, hey, I take the
It's
bump and what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then we get Ham Cubes coming back for the first time since Heat. Surprised he made it to the pay per
Ham
view.
cubes.
Yeah.
Oh
Steiner.
yeah, we get the Steiner, and then he picks her up, and then
Yeah.
Tess
He
is like,
picks
"What are
her
you
up.
doing with my woman?"
My girl.
Yeah.
I
Steiner.
forgot what that led to, and I was like, "This is not
Not good.
good
We're gonna
at
see
all.
it in mere weeks.
Fuck off.
Mm.
Fuck off.
Buckle up,
Fuck
Buckaroo."
off. This sucks.
It's the beginning of the end.
Fuck
Next.
right off.
Next, we
God
get
damn it.
the doctor's in with the Doctor of Thugonomics.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Against Brock Lesnar for the what now? United States Championship.
The WWE Championship. WWE Championship
I know,
match.
I know.
Don't do this to me. This was another great promo package for a big match. This was like the first one I felt like they hit on all night. John Cena comes out in Yankees gear, going full heel in Massachusetts.
Is
He also
from
had this,
Massachusetts, by the way.
yeah.
Yeah.
He also had this fucking skull cap on, which made him look like an SSX tricky character.
It's 2003, man. It was in. I don't know.
It was fucking good shit.
He says some shit about we're cellmates and you just dropped the soap or some shit like that.
And the promo build up for it, good shit. Loved it.
Yeah, they do a tournament recap in the promo, and says he beat Eddie, beat Taker, he beat Chris Benoit in this tournament. It's a pretty cool package. I liked it. Brock Lesnar is bandaged up from the belt shot he took that past week from Cena. And we get a face-to-face started off, but Brock gets a double backbreaker and a fall-away slam. Straight out of, like, Here Comes the Pain, the video game. This motherfucker pressed circle left and the perfect move.
And then fucking, yeah.
I was like, oh my God, that is like, they literally took that from that. It's fucking crazy. There's fast suplexes here, and there's a badass gator roll from Brock that we really don't see a lot anymore. I love a good head takedown, and then just someone just rolling around the mat, just make you a bitch real quick. There's nothing cooler than that. A lot of times in wrestling, especially when a face does it, it's a little different. Because like Brock's the face here, am I right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You know,
but people are starting to get behind Cena. You have some Let's Go Cena.
Yeah, exactly. So like, I feel like this is one of the first times that Brock's like looking around and being like, "Oh shit, I'm starting to get booed again." You know, so it is pretty interesting. But Brock gets reopened after a reversed Irish whip on the outside. The mat mic I noticed during this match is loud as fuck. Even the referee's count, it sounded like the mat mic was super high.
You're like,
yeah, dude, it was loud. Cena's working the head of Brock, and Cena chants are strong. Cena low blows Brock, but a kick out occurs. Cena does a leap over neck breaker, which I loved when his ass used to do those. Ref stops Cena from using the chain, allowing Brock Lesnar to land the F5. And we get Brock kind of just chilling for like 5 seconds before he makes the cover. No big deal. Yeah. What did that go? That match went 15 minutes, 14 seconds. And Mike, what did you give it?
Oh, man. Firstly, it got violent because they spilled to the outside. Lesnar bled early, right? Mm-hmm. But it seemed like as we got into the stretch of the match, like the good shit, that they were on two different pages. Like there was a lot of weird shit where like there was like Irish whips into the corner that they weren't hitting. It just like it looked like they were just off on certain spots. Overall, I didn't hate the match. The finish was a little wonky, especially like we talked about it with like on WrestleMania, right, with Triple H and Booker T. But like taking forever to pin just kind of sucks for me. I went 2 3/4. I thought it was the second, but it did nothing for me really. Another forgettable match.
Yeah, it's just kind of crazy to see Brock selling like this. And I'm like, I know that we're going through like this era where he really was selling, but I mean, him selling like that for John Cena, you wouldn't see his ass doing that in 2013, 2015, you know? So him doing it here is pretty cool to look back on, and like the respect that he had for everybody, and like the way that he would just land certain things, mannerisms. He really gets it, man. And like people just don't give Brock Lesnar the credit sometimes. Like this man gets pro wrestling. He really understands the psychology and how to work a ring and work a crowd. And I think within 5 minutes, most matches of Brock's, he knows the role that the audience wants him to play, and he adapts and he plays that shit perfectly. I mean, there's no one else that I would want to come from, that side of, how are the words I'm trying to say? I know it's pro wrestling guy before jumping to UFC, but like there's a lot of times where there's dudes that come from the NFL that are just complete fucking assholes and believe that they're like bigger and better than life itself, and that there's fucking always green pastures on the other side. And I'm glad that we don't see that from Brock, especially in these early years. I mean, until he meets Goldberg, and then it's like full fuck you. But like I get that. But I gave this match 3 stars.
Not bad.
No.
Casey.
So to kind of bounce off what you were saying, Cortland, I think the reason why people don't always necessarily give Brock the credit is because they look at it from post UFC coming back Lesnar, and they kind of forget about this era. Like it was really weird to watch this match and then remember his SummerSlam match with Cena where he suplexes him fucking 17 times and like that's the whole match. Like it's weird to see like where we were to what we became.
It's a massive contrast of like styles.
And like to go with like what you were also saying, like I feel like he did know that he was like hot shit, but for whatever reason at the time, like besides literally Kurt, no one could actually literally fucking out wrestle him.
Yeah, you're fine.
I was really excited to see the pyro from when Brock jumped up onto the ring apron. It's nice.
Like the first time we've gotten it.
I was like,
right?
well, the first time I was like, yay, it's here. Because like he always comes out and then he would jump up and you're like, where's the pyro? Like I need
I'm
it.
missing it.
It's fucking
I'm
great. 'Cause
missing
especially at that time because he would like grab that rope and like lean back a little bit and you're like, oh, this dude's fucking just ready. This match did get a little sloppy at a couple spots. I do think that you like what you were saying, Mike, was right. Like there was some kind of weird disconnect that happened in that match, and like it took them like they were there and they fucked things up, and then like they were trying to get their footing again. I didn't think it was like honestly I do agree it's the second best match on the fucking card. I gave it 3 stars.
A gentleman's 3.
A gentleman's 3. Because yeah, there's like parts that I wanted to pick apart about it, but also I'm just like I don't really know what was happening that caused that weird kind of like there was like I had even wrote down I was like it got kind of fucking sloppy like for a little bit, but I was like at least they were able to kind of like piece it back together so it wasn't a sloppy finish or anything. It was just kind of weird.
Right. It was all right though. And then we, oh Lord, then we move forward after that match
with another. I'm just no more Stacy and Tori at this point.
Thank fuck we're past that, right? We jump into our 6-man tag, which was Shawn Michaels, Kevin Nash, and Booker T. There goes Cortland versus Triple H, Chris Jericho.
He took a bump off the top rope.
Took a bump. He got chokeslammed by Big Show. This match was okay. It just felt everywhere from bell to bell. And dude, they fucking hammered home Kevin Nash getting his hands on Triple H.
God.
And then when he finally does, and he's getting ready to jackknife powerbomb him through the table on the outside, he doesn't do it. Like, it's cut and dry, man. It's right in front of you. You do what the fuck you got to do. But of course, they're protecting Triple H through this time. The highlight of this was Jonathan Coachman says he calls Kevin Nash Big Daddy. He doesn't call him Big Daddy Cool. He just calls him, and there's Big Daddy. The low light of this match, the shitty part, racist Jerry Lawler as soon as Booker T's in the ring. He's talking a lot of shit about Booker T, and then at one point, Coachman says, and Triple H is fired up, and then Jerry Lawler says, don't talk about firing things up around Booker T, and I was just like, oh my God. How did you...
So
this was on what? What channel is this on at this point?
Were they on TNT or were they on USA at the time? Because
it was what was it? TBS?
Or TBS?
I think they were on TNN.
Or TNN.
Is that what it was?
TNN.
TNN.
That's what it was.
That's what it was. Yeah. TNN. Who the fuck is okay with Jerry Lawler saying this?
No one is. So, like,
once
again, I want to preface, I had said that they were much better up until this match. They were much better a commentating team than Cole and Taz.
Is that truly the WWE doesn't care? And they still show that they don't give a shit. Because we're not the first ones to continuously go back and talk about all the shit he said. They don't give a shit. This man is still opening up the pre-shows for every single pay-per-view. And they're calling him, like, the best ever. Like, fuck that guy. And you think that dude's the best ever, then fuck you too. That's just how I feel about that shit.
What's
Fuck that guy.
What's still more fucked up is that he kept at it when and granted, this is not with the same commentator as WrestleMania, but you now have a black commentator next to you, and
he kept nervous laughing.
He just kept poking at Coach to be like, "How do you feel about it, huh? Huh?" And even Coach was like, "Will you stop?" Like he literally says that. He's like, "Will you stop it?" Like he's like he's way more professional than JR was about it. But like it got to a point where even he was like, "Shut the fuck up, dude. Like we get it. You don't like."
And this is even watered down in comparison to how fucking awful he was at WrestleMania.
Because it didn't make sense for the match. We had already gotten past all that, and now it's like three dudes that hate three other fucking dudes, and y'all are gonna fucking wrestle. Like,
and you know, one of them was black. Like, that's what it was. Like,
yeah,
that's what it was, man. Am I wrong, Casey? Am I wrong? That's just what it was.
I just wasn't expecting. Speaking of other injustices to Booker T, what the fuck happened to his theme song?
Oh, they own it, do they not? And it's just like this. It was fucking. It was
one. Once again, I know I am like the fucking biggest harper of people's theme songs, but like, it wasn't his song. It wasn't "Can You Dig It?" Like it wasn't that song. It was. I don't know if it was just like the Peacock version of it that had it fucked up or what, but it wasn't the same song. It was just some regular generic ass song.
His pyro wasn't on. His hand, nothing was.
Because like he can't. I honestly think I literally think it wasn't the same song because he comes out and it's like the pyro does go off, but it's at a weird point because it's not with the song, and he's even kind of like, "I guess I'm here, everybody. And it's fine." Like, what are we doing? God, this fucking match, dude.
It's rough, man.
Portland, what'd you go?
Well, essentially, did you already say the finish?
Oh no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, the assassination essentially happens. Triple H takes the opportunity while the ref is down and strikes Nash with that dead sledgehammer, and that's the 3 count after a pedigree and another. Oh wait, he doesn't even land a pedigree; just hits the sledgehammer. Tosses it out, looks around for a second, covers him, and then a solid, like, another 4 or 5 seconds pass before a ref jumps in, then pins him, and then Nash lays there still for, like, another 10 seconds just laying there. But what's really cool about this, though, is the little shit, because Triple H gets out of the ring, he walks around, and he chills, and he waits for until he knows a camera is on him, and he throws the evidence of the sledgehammer back under the ring. And then he leaves. And it's the little shit like that that's like, damn, man, because you didn't have to. And the amount of matches that we've seen someone use a chair or a belt, and like the pinfall happens when the chair is still obviously right there.
The ref lays on it to do the count.
Like you're hitting the chair with your count. You know?
One, let me move this out of the way. 2.
Yeah. So that doesn't happen here, which I'm really thankful for. I'm glad that it's the little shit. Like even after the match, even though it doesn't matter anymore, you still throwing it under the ring. It's the little shit that matters to me. So like that shit was really cool. I believe this match goes a solid 17 minutes, 51 seconds.
It's long as fuck.
Too long.
It's very long. A shout out to Jericho as always. You know, just fucking looking great per usual. Shawn and Rick do a lot of work against each other in this match, which I was surprised with. I thought that was going to be very much the Jericho and Shawn, them working their asses off while Kevin Nash does 2 spots and Triple H just plays chicken shit all night. I just thought that Rick was just going to take his typical back body drop, the one off the top, get a figure 4 in. But before we move away from this match, speaking of figure 4s, there's a really cool spot that Rick gets Shawn in the figure 4, and Jericho is standing there telling him to tap. And when he does it, Jericho lands a lion salt while he's still in the figure 4.
Good, and he flew for
and
that
it looked
shit too.
Badass, man. And everyone sold it because immediately Rick broke out of it. Even though he didn't touch Rick's legs, Rick still sold it like fuck. Because if you would have landed on their legs, that shit would have hurted a lot for all three people. That shit would have sucked. But I enjoyed this match. I'm not going to say that's my favorite 6-man tag team match of all fucking time, because it's obviously not. It's weird. It feels like it should be on Raw, but I gave it 3 stars.
Casey?
HBK, Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid, took the worst fucking pedigree I've ever seen in my entire life.
It was ugly as dog shit.
He doesn't leave. His feet do not leave the ground. He basically is bent over. Triple H pops up. He just stands up basically and then falls straight back down. I was like, that was the worst fucking thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
I said it out loud when I watched it. I was like, Jesus Christ, Vince McMahon takes a better fucking pedigree than that. I was like, what the fuck, Joe?
Yeah, I was like, goddamn, Sean, like, this isn't Hulk Hogan. You can sell a little bit. Like, honestly,
What you reading, Mike?
Casey, what'd you go?
I gave it 2 3/4. It just felt like, it felt like it was. I'm giving it a gentleman's 2 3/4 because I'm like, some of the people in there, like, you've got the lion salt spot.
Mm-hmm.
It honestly, it felt like it should have just been on a Raw. Like it just felt like, let's get all these guys in, let's get everyone to try to get their shit in, and let's call it a day. He is reading his notes because he gave it a 1.
I'm not reading my notes. I was looking to see if I could find a different video of, like, where Booker T's entrance is maybe not dubbed over. Doesn't exist, apparently.
No, it's literally the song, because like even he seems confused.
Like that was definitely a dub over. That's definitely a dub over for sure.
Yeah.
I went 2 1/4, but the rating I actually said 2 1/4. I guess.
A begrudging 2 1/4.
It just wasn't good.
It's the little stuff for me because, like, obviously, there's not a whole lot of people that are tag team specialists in this match. They're not. But you have someone like Jericho. You have someone like Chris Jericho and Ric Flair. And like, there's a little spot in this match where Shawn and Rick are like tied up in a collar and elbow near Rick's corner, and Shawn turns and Rick just takes a flat back straight to the ground, but he has Shawn's leg.
He ties up his legs with his legs. It's good shit.
Perfect. And it's just like, damn, dude, when do you see that
back for the tag? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just, it's the little shit.
He's like, get me, please.
Yeah. Like, it's fucking awesome, man. Just little shit like that for me in tag matches just always get me. You know me, man. I love that shit.
I remember thinking, like, at this time, like, damn, Ric Flair's old. Right now, Sting wrestled in May. 10 years older than what Ric Flair was at this point. Think about that.
What?
And Sting looks all... Yeah, just... I was like, I'm curious. Like, I wonder if he's the same age. Because I remember thinking, like, damn, Ric Flair's probably dying soon, like, way back when. You know what I mean? But, like, he was only old. 52.
Ric Flair was old in fucking 1985, dude. Like,
oh, man.
Next no DQ, he's going to have to get one of these.
He's got to get a pacemaker, buddy. He's almost out of this son of a bitch. Moving forward, Michael bitch ass.
It's not a loser leaves town match. It's a loser gets a pacemaker.
A loser, yeah. We literally pay for a headstone piece of shit. Moving forward,
it's not a buried alive match. It's just a buried match.
A literal funeral match.
I almost did it, boys. I almost blacked out. We got it.
Moving forward, while everybody regains their... Michael Cole's bitch ass doesn't give us an update on Rey Mysterio's condition, but says that he's been transported to a trauma center and that his vitals are good.
They
quote unquote literally have it written down. Thanks, dick face. That's what I have.
They were like, we're gonna send it over to them to get an update on Rey Mysterio. They both went, I don't fucking know. He's fine, I guess.
Maybe he died. Maybe he didn't. I don't know what to tell you.
I have written down, it says, recap a Big Show Mysterio match. They give us speculation, question mark? Because the Taz literally
give us
says,
anything.
This is merely speculation. We are not doctors.
Yeah, and it's like, dude, you know what you could have done? You could have just not said it and, like, we could have moved on. You know what I mean?
They fucking cut to them though. They're like, we're gonna send it over to fucking Michael Cole
Right
and Taz
here.
to get an update, and they're both just like,
Can we talk about how
I don't
in
fucking know.
this segment they do
They
the
were like,
recap?
I thought our night was over.
They-
Fuck am I doing?
They're
they
turning
do the
on lights
recap.
and shit. They're like,
They
I
bust
should've
the
left a long
recap.
time ago.
They bust the recap and they show the Big Show situation, and then
Yeah.
it cuts back and Michael Cole is like fucking this close to Taz, and he's like, "Hey, buddy, yeah, how'd you feel about that one? We don't have any update." Like it was fucking bizarre.
what'd you think about that, Taz?
Oh, what kind of is that Head and Shoulders that I smell? Oh well, he doesn't have hair. That fuck. Oh
Have you been using some of Matt Hardy's nut butter on your head?
yeah, I need to know.
Oh,
Let's move forward
God. So
before
then we
we
get
fucking-
another. We
oh,
get the promo
shit.
package of The Rock and Goldberg, and
Just
when
yelling
it
at each other.
leads up.
It's over for me, and you've done nothing. I've done it all. You've done nothing. I've done it all. You've done nothing. Or spear your ass. I've done nothing. You've done it all. just fucking terrible.
sounds like Ned Flanders being like, nothing at all, nothing at all.
Oh fuck! The promo video sucked for this match.
Yeah, the promo videos.
This is
God.
The Rock and Goldberg is where we're at. We're at our fucking main event of the evening. Introducing.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, I'm not gonna dive back.
So, The Rock cuts a promo with Lillian Garcia, and I don't have any of the words written out, but I am not kidding when I say this is probably my favorite Rock promo, and here's why. Because it's so bad. It's like Casey said earlier.
Okay.
It's like he wished it was taped because he wanted to start it over so many times.
2 or 3
So
times.
he just keeps saying, hey. And that shit is awesome.
So
She's like,
he's sitting there with Lillian Garcia. They start the
Yeah.
promo. He like kind of starts to like stumble, but like it's almost like
it's a comedy.
and in my brain, I was like, it's almost like they wanted The Rock to seem like he was nervous. But what ended up just happening was that they were cutting a live fucking promo because 3 seconds later he's walking outside and he's like, he basically is just like, hey, and then like he even like says like something about a fucking cockatoo, and then he
says,
even goes,
no,
he goes,
no,
it's the first animal I can think of, like as if anyone was like,
It's
what?
So bad. It's
They said, do
you
you
can-
think Lillian Garcia asked this man, and she says, a lot of people here tonight think that you're going to lose to Goldberg.
He says,
And even though you've done a lot, yada, yada, yada. And he says, well, The Rock has done it all. The only thing The Rock hasn't done is make a white baby. Yeah. And he said, there's maybe a couple of people here who boo The Rock, and they want
boo.
Goldberg.
He hears it.
And he's like, yeah, and there's a few people that booed The Rock when The Rock said that. And then he says, well,
And they think I'm going to lose to Goldberg. Well, you know what they could do? They could wipe a cockatoo's ass
with what they think. And he says, hey, it's the only animal The Rock could think of. Okay? And then he says, he says, The Rock has done all giggy panties, Lillian panties.
Yeah,
Some
it's
shit
just
like
He just like stumbles over his
And then,
words the entire promo, which is like
it's
impressive
so fucking good.
given who is giving this promo.
Yeah. And then to wrap it up, he says,
Goldberg,
he says,
you're not
Goldberg-
next. Or I'm not next. You're
I'm
next.
not next. You're next. You whisker biscuit, bald-headed bitch.
Yes.
And
He also
that-
said something about 3. He said, well, I'm sure Goldberg felt those chair shots to his chrome dome in this promo. It's just fucked up. Like, what are you on about, right?
It literally is like he
He was
wanted.
like Godzilla hitting. It was like Kong hitting Godzilla with a steel chair. Cacao.
Like, it's just,
He's like, because
over
he's
the-
making fun of his fucking. He makes fun of. He's like
Fucking
trying to
awesome.
make fun of Goldberg's like face, but he's like about it, and like I just like I feel like a
what does
couple
The Rock gotta be
times.
afraid of Goldberg for? Goldberg gonna make
It's
faces at him?
all
God.
over the place.
It just
man.
feels like he's like looking around for someone to be like, okay, cut, let's start over again. But like they didn't, so he's like, I gotta keep fucking going, I guess. And then
Nah, when he looks around, I feel like there's people that are watching this promo that are just fucking dying of laughter. And he's just
I
trying
think
to
it's a
hold it
combination of. I
together.
think it's like people holding back laughter because they're trying to be like
Yeah.
not fuck this up, and then other people are just like slack jawed, just like Like, what the fuck is
Like,
happening
he
right
even
now?
stands there for like 5-6 seconds once they're done, and he just kind of like rocks, and he looks around, and he like smiles at this person, nods over there.
Yeah, it's just
shoots
fucking
some
bizarre,
gun.
man. He's like,
He's like, ah, The
looks
Rock,
at
that
it
was
just-
great.
I'm
And
like-
then he fucking leaves.
Rock,
and then he
what
just gives her
happened?
like one chuckle on the lift of his belt. He's like, aha. And then he just fucking leaves.
Well, time to hit the old dusty trail.
Dude, it's fucking awesome, man. I reference that promo all the time in my house. Like, all the fucking time. They're like, hey, hey, hey.
Now we're on to the main event, which is The Rock
Let's
versus
get
a
into this
whisker
piece
biscuit
of-
bald-headed bitch.
Bitch, yes. Let's get into
Goldberg.
this fucking match. Go ahead, Cortland.
Oh, where does one begin?
It's important to know that looking at this with 2003 eyes, right? With
Yes. So
2003
I'm gonna-
eyes, this
Yeah.
is a dream match, right?
You have
110%.
You have The
gotta
Rock.
think about it. Here's the little things I have about this that make it important to me. You have the new Rock entrance, this Hollywood entrance that makes it feel larger than life. Because really, it's fucking awesome. Because The Rock needed that. This like slow form of where The Rock's going and his character. The entrance had to be different. It can't be like, do you submit? Like, it doesn't need to be that. It needs to be subtle and arrogant. It needs to be just the way that The Rock is at this time. And The Rock's walking out just a fucking asshole. He's pointing at crowds, flicking that guy off, but he smiles and waves at this guy.
Yeah.
And then he's like, hey, fuck you. Hey. And then he smiles at the camera, shakes some baby's hand like fucking, yes. And then he just talk shit the whole time. But then there's little things that are like Goldberg's entrance. This is your first entrance for Goldberg in the WWE ever. And this is the first time that I believe that King has ever called a Goldberg entrance where Goldberg looks the way that he looks, you know, fit to attire. And I knock on King all the time because fuck King. But, I mean, the pyro going off, the smoke coming out, and you get that little noise from King, his little like, huh, like the fear, scare shit that he does. That shit's awesome, man, because you've never heard it before. It's completely organic because that's a terrifying motherfucker. Like, you're standing outside of your house, you got fucking fog machines going because of Halloween,
Sorry, I had to
and this
sneeze.
motherfucker
Bless
walks
you.
up. I'm scared, you know?
Yeah, no, it's a huge deal because this is his contract had finally expired. They finally convinced him to come back. You have him going against The Rock, who's undoubtedly like one of the biggest stars in WWEF, you know, at the time. So you finally have that, and then the fucking bell rings, and then everyone remembered. The Gold Dust, the Gold Dust, goddammit, that Goldberg is the worst fucking wrestler ever.
Well, before it rings, I feel like Rock was trying to save us just a few more minutes before our childhoods were crushed. Because The Rock just kind of walks around the ring for a while, and he's like, you know, playing the chicken shit. He was terrified. He's standing on the steps just on the left side, and there's a ref that's counting him in. And he's like, you got to get in here. And he's just like, I know. I'll get there as soon as I can. Just give me 1 second. I'm coming. And it's just the little shit like that. It's fucking hilarious from The Rock. The Rocky chants convince Rock to finally get in the ring. He's smiling. He finally gets a little bit of courage. And then they stop. The Goldberg chants start. And The Rock's trying to shush the crowd up. Finally, they do a little lap around the ring together, going eyes to eyes. The Rock rings the bell this time. And signs for the bell, rather. And I like the little touches like that, where it's not the referee. It's on the wrestler to be like, all right, I'm ready. Fuck this. Let's do it. And instead of just attacking him, he tells the dude to ring the bell himself. It's good shit. They do a collar and elbow tie-up to start it off. And obviously the test of strength, Goldberg wins. Sends Rock into a corner. And I got a good audible chuckle out of it because The Rock looks around and he says, oh, you've done it now. And that shit is awesome, man. That shit is so funny. Rock tries to leave again, but lays Goldberg's throat on the top rope. But Goldberg lands a rock bottom on The The Rock, and even the commentary sells it as a rock bottom. Goldberg attempts a spear, but Rock sidesteps, thankfully, and Goldberg meets the steel ring post. Rock does his typical brain point and fucking hit in his head, which I just think is the funniest shit. And he does that like hooray leap. It's fucking awesome, dude. Yeah, he just like jumps in the air and slaps his own arms and shit. And like, it's fucking cool. Where was I at? Rock gets Goldberg in for a sharpshooter, but when Goldberg reaches the ropes, Rock shoves Earl Hebner into the corner and allows him to land a low blow on a down Goldberg.
Not just a low blow, he punches him in the dick.
Yeah.
Like
a full spread of the legs, fuck you, like just fucking rocked him. But that's not the finish for us, of course, because that wouldn't drop a grown man like Goldberg. Goldberg surprises us all with a devastating spear while The Rock is setting up what we could only imagine is Spinebuster or the Rock Bottom. The people are booing hard after the kick out of a Spinebuster and a People's Elbow from The Rock. There's a lot of people that are really bummed about Goldberg being here. Before we go any further in the finish of the match, how did y'all feel about Goldberg making his way to the WWE?
The equivalent of diarrhea.
Casey? Do you think that it had the potential of being cool?
Okay.
Or
so
do you think it was doomed from the start?
So this is kind of my thoughts on it. Like, from a 2003 stance and where everything had led up to this particular point, I understand the big deal that is getting him to go there.
Of course.
My notes. My biggest complaint about this is Goldberg could never wrestle. And I don't think he's that entertaining on top of it.
Yeah, well, I think that I agree. I think that WCW, one of the things that they actually did do good for a little while was that they protected Goldberg.
They just gave him people he would fucking spear, jackhammer, 1, 2, 3. That's all it was.
Yeah,
they
but
gave
what
him
the fuck else do you want him to do?
They gave him a literal match with fucking William Regal, and William Regal was like, it is unquestionably one of the worst fucking matches I've ever had in my entire life.
Yes. Yeah, it's
because he couldn't. It's almost like, at least with like Brock now, like anything from like 2012 on, like anything more post UFC, Brock could wrestle if he wanted to. He doesn't. So like him just suplexing people, it's tiring to watch. But like, if at any fucking point he wanted to fucking just have a match, he could. He just doesn't want to. Goldberg can't.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always been my complaint, is that he's just this fucking circus show of just like, I'm going to do the same two things and that's all I can do. And it's almost like he never fucking tried. Like, you have The Rock who's doing all of this great shit into this match. You could have literally told The Rock, I want you to only do a punch, a kick, and the rock bottom. And he would still put on a barn burner of a fucking match with those 3 moves.
Yeah.
And Goldberg could never.
Yeah, I think
Like,
that
it's just so frustrating.
Yeah, I think the big thing for Goldberg, right, is just being protected. You know, there's a lot of wrestlers that we even see now that need to be protected way better than they're being. You don't need to shine light on the shit you're not good at. I don't want to see Brock Lesnar or Goldberg do collar and elbow tie-ups or an up and over, or I just want to see you suplex someone until their fucking neck breaks. That's all I want. I don't need you to do anything else. And I don't want the constant sell of just forearms and these open hand punches that are ultimately just shit. I just need you to wrap up whoever it is and you slam them repeatedly. It doesn't make you look bad that you can pick up a 300-pound grown man and slam him. Nothing about that makes you look that bad, you know? Well, I say that, but you know,
there's been some bad matches.
I feel like Goldberg could have been protected, I feel like they did okay in this match with you not seeing all of Goldberg's weaknesses. However, we see them over time. I'm not saying that they're not there. Don't get me wrong. They're fucking there.
I will say, because of how The Rock has notoriously prepped for matches, especially on pay-per-views, I feel like probably them kind of going through things helped a little bit. But like, it's still just like he just can't fucking wrestle. Yeah,
man, and we're still watching him fucking wrestle every year.
I'm gonna put air quotes around that word till the day I fucking die when it comes to Goldberg. It's just, we're gonna watch him wrestle the whole fucking time, and he's still got another fucking match on his contract in 2021.
Before Mike's heart rate goes up any higher, Mike, you want to make your comments that you're about to...
Just a few things. In August of 2021, Matt Riddle did an interview with Sony Sports India. And he said, I saw Bill the other day before he challenged Bobby Lashley. I was standing there and I was with Damian Priest at the time. And he says hi to everybody. Comes up to me and gives me a look. He was making this face and then he goes, hey, congratulations, kid. And I was like, oh man, Goldberg's kind of nice. So I give him a little handshake and he went out and challenged Bobby. And then he was coming out through Gorilla again. And I was like, hey, Goldberg, good stuff. And as he gave me a fist bump, he says, I only need 2 moves. And so when we talk about Bill Goldberg needing more than 2 moves, that bald son of a bitch doesn't think he does.
Okay, so the problem is that this is 2021 Goldberg that's saying it, because he's known for the last almost 30 years that's all he's ever needed. But, like, we didn't try.
I was going to say, did we ever see a true attempt from Bill Goldberg to maybe be a little bit better?
I swear to God, I think the only time they ever literally gave a shot at it is when they forced him to have that match with Regal in WCW in, like, 97 or some shit. I don't remember the year. But, like, I think they were just like, fuck it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And, like, the problem is that, like, yeah, they had him go against, like, people like Hulk and, like, Kevin Nash and stuff then, but it's, like, ultimately, like, they were always just chicken shit heels, so it was, like, impressive to have them sell for the jackhammer, but then it's, like, you have someone that's, like, literally collectively one of the best entertainers in The Rock, and then it's, like, you're just making him look terrible.
Yeah. The Rock did such a fucking good job slowing this down and allowing anticipation to be built, because Goldberg was running at 200 miles a minute. And when I wrote that, immediately after, Goldberg goes flying into the fucking turnbuckle after missing a spear and just about decapitates himself.
He pulls it's the same spot that he did with DDP, where he literally almost breaks his fucking neck.
Yeah.
Because the last time he did that spot, he literally hits his head against the ring post and, like, gets severely concussed. And that was in WCW, and I believe he was in the same boat as Lesnar, where it was like, if his neck wasn't so fucking big, like, he would have died instantly. But, like, for some reason, like, their necks just, like, kind of kept everything together. But then, he just
built
goes
like fucking pit bulls.
But it's like, he goes straight in between the top and the mid turnbuckle.
Shoulders, you know? They don't have a neck. It's just fucking... They look like a Sims character.
I will say the funniest part, or at least the part that I audibly laughed a lot to, was the first spear that The Rock takes. In quotes.
He's like, oh, God.
He goes, oh, my God. Holy shit. Yeah. Shit. All on camera.
It's good shit.
He is selling the fuck out of that spear, but him just be like, holy shit.
Dude, I have written down that Rock sells the first spear like he just got shot in the gut with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, dude, he is selling the shit out of it, and it takes a solid minute for him to, like, get up. And he gets up the best, dude, just slow as shit, gets his wits about him, takes a deep breath, looks at the crowd, points at some guy like, I'm a fucking do me, and he, like, slaps his chest like, I'm the best. He turns around and catches another one immediately. And it's just good shit, man. And then we get a jackhammer, which we saw coming. So in total, Rock takes 3 spears tonight that all look fucking awesome. And then right, is it 3 spears? Right?
I think it's
or is it 2?
it's
I thought it was
a,
2 at the
it's
end.
a rock bottom, 2 spears, and a
Dude,
fucking jackhammer to put him away.
True. That you're right. And then we get that 3 count. You know,
and that was it.
what'd you give it, Mike? I want to hear.
The Rock jawing with the audience was good shit throughout the entire match.
Yeah.
It just again added to him like the uncertainty of himself, right? It was good shit.
Yeah.
I went 2.5, and I feel sick saying that I went 2.5.
The 2 goes to the Rock, and then the half is just
2.25 goes to the Rock. Let's
Goldberg
fucking
showed
be
up.
real. Yeah. Goldberg was there, and I guess
He was there on time.
Yeah, it's like
and
he was on
brought
time.
his
Yeah.
stuff.
When The Rock was getting up from the first spear, what did Goldberg do? Sit in the corner for fucking 2 minutes waiting for him to get up to spear him again. It was horrible.
Nah, dude, that's fucking great.
But that's the thing.
Shit,
It's one of those things where it's like it just allowed The Rock to be The Rock and say the funniest fucking line of the match, like being like, "Oh, holy shit!"
Fucking bad, dude.
No, dude, it's fucking great. You have The Rock who is just about to leave you. You don't have many moments with him left, and he's just selling this fucking spear forever, just trying to get up in the corner. And like I said, he's just being The Rock. He's talking to fans while he's selling the hardest move that he's ever been hit by, or that he's acting like, right? And
so
he just
sells his ass off for Bill Goldberg, who at this time was 37.
Yeah.
That's your guy that you're going to fucking put over? A 37-year-old with the fucking biggest star other than Stone Cold Steve Austin and Hulk Hogan out of your fucking company?
But once again, even I'm gonna jump in. It's you have literally one of the faces of WCW. I don't like him. I could give a rat's ass about any match he's ever been in, but like it's still one of the biggest goddamn stars.
Fellas,
from
I feel
WCW.
like I'm suffering having this conversation. Bill Goldberg.
Well, here, bud. I'm sorry to
the
say,
shits.
I'm not a Bill Goldberg fan. I'm not defending him by any means.
I'm just defending
But
the
I am
reason.
gonna say,
Portland, you go 3.25 here, don't you? You fucker.
fucking no.
Okay.
What the fuck did I go? The fuck did I go? No, I went 2.25.
Okay.
I really enjoy The Rock, man. I really enjoy The Rock here. He's just, it's hard to say that shit for me because I hate to be one of those Rock marks, but like looking back on the last 25 years that he's had in pro wrestling this last week with Survivor Series anniversary and just the promo work, the people, the stars that he's made, the things that he's done for himself. And like, people say it all the time, but like the dude walked into the industry with $7.
And look at him now.
Just look at that man. That dude is the walking American dream. How can you hate him? And he's one of the best to ever do it. Potentially the best. I'm just one of those fucking dudes that gets tired of people calling one person the best forever. So I'm like, that's not the best, But like, who the fuck am I? I'm just some random motherfucker in the middle of North Carolina. The fuck do I know about wrestling, right?
So we're coming still off of the heels of WrestleMania, where we all end up finding out that it's Stone Cold's last match ever.
Yes.
Do you think that if he wasn't being basically forced to retire, do you think this would have been Stone Cold versus Goldberg and not The Rock?
I'm so fucking glad that it wasn't, because that shit would have been way worse than this.
I was like thinking about it right now. I'm like, that's probably the only reason why we never got that match was because we're only like a month later?
A month shy, yeah.
Just a month shy of him retiring. So it's like, if
they would just be two completely different matches.
Yeah.
Like the story would be completely different. There wouldn't be a chicken shit Stone Cold at this moment. This would be a motherfucker, you stole my gimmick. You know what I mean?
We look the same.
It would have been it would have been like every week one of them is attacking another. And not saying that I wouldn't enjoy that. I'm sure that I would until the bell rings.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to stop enjoying it. I think that in this match, Goldberg's first. There's no one that's going to put him over the way that Rock did. You know, you got literally the biggest, arguably one of the biggest movie stars in the world on his way to being that. And whether the age gap or not, he knew what he had to do, and he would have put over anybody, anyone at all. And Vince McMahon just said, I wanted to be him. And he said, okay. And he did that shit with a smile on his face. And that's why The Rock deserves the biggest fucking pat on the back, because it doesn't matter who it is. He knew he was leaving, and he knew the right way to do it was to always put over somebody else who was staying
on your way
in
out.
the company. Because there's no other way to do it, man. It's just, if not, you look like fucking Bret Hart and you're a fucking cocksucker. So
Yes, that's what we need. Stone Cold versus Goldberg would have looked like two dads fighting at a softball game. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it would have looked like. Two suburban dads fighting at a softball game.
it would have been like
awesome.
fucking two Hooters cooks just swinging at each other.
Yeah. You stole my fucking Newports, buddy! Like, they would have been fucking sweet.
I said I wanted hundreds.
Yeah, it would have been good. It would have been good shit.
Waffle House at 2 a.m.
Hell yeah. Can I get a waffle, please? They're just fucking swinging on each other. Yeah. Yeah. Casey, what'd you go on this?
What?
It gets 2.5. Every positive thing comes to The Rock, and yeah, it doesn't even have to be like, oh, I'm a mark for The Rock. Like, no, like,
He just
this
carried
was a
the match.
dumpster fire, and it was only enjoyable because you have, not only is it The Rock, but you have the greatest version of The Rock being a gigantic asshole. Like,
It's
so,
the best Rock, dude.
So yeah,
Hollywood Rock is the best Rock.
It just was like rough to get through, and I like had higher hope because I did not remember this match, but then like just throughout, I was like, this is such a disappointment.
This match literally went off as I was getting on the podcast tonight. Like, literally, it ended, and then I jumped on. I've been thinking about just festering, sitting in my brain.
That's
eating
why.
at me.
So you had The Rock's promo in your brain as soon as you started to cut the intro, and that's why you fucked up.
Yeah. Just it just inspired me. I would still watch The Rock's promo 100 times over the fucking Corey Wilson, Stacy Keibler 8-segment bullshit.
This
Tragic.
match gets 2.5 Don Maurice versus Tori Wilson out of 5.
It was fucking interesting. That's what I'll say. It's interesting. I'm not even gonna say it was bad because it wasn't bad, but it wasn't anything like that's not main event material to me. I don't know.
No, but I mean, was that 6-man tag one either?
No.
Because I don't think Big Show and John Cena was either. Not being a dick to John
Brock
Cena.
Lesnar, you mean?
Brock Lesnar, sorry.
We had Big Show commit murder, so.
Yeah.
That was main event material.
Yes, that's good shit, pal.
30 minutes and 20 seconds of just attempted murder.
Just commits murder, goes black.
Yeah, man, I don't think that this pay-per-view had like a lot of steam. Obviously, the opener is the best match.
So what I did kind of start to see when I went back through, because like this was a joint pay-per-view, but we're doing a brand split. This is, I think, the last pay-per-view besides like the big 4.
Yeah.
Before we actually start doing, like we're gonna be skipping some pay-per-views from this year because they're SmackDown onlys. So like even that I think was part of a problem, is that you just don't have enough going on. These always felt kind of sloppy when they did them, because like they're not. Because at least with big 4s, if you have both brands, you get like actual storytelling, and there's 9 times out of 10 the belts are on the line. So like there's at least something exciting for all the matches, with like the 1 or 2 offshoots that are just like random matches. But like ultimately, like this was just like a thrown together post Mania pay-per-view. And like, besides your opener, like everything else could have just like not existed, and that would have been fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this Backlash just fell short for me. Like, I enjoy Backlashes. I think that like it's a really cool concept. Call something Backlash. It's literally the backlash of your WrestleMania, the pinnacle of your year. And and it just feels like this one fell a little short. Backlash isn't a pay-per-view that I would say is joint brand pay-per-view for me.
It normally isn't, but yeah.
But like going forward after this, some of this shit's gonna get rough. Forewarning, because Raw at this time is the Evolution show, so you're not gonna see a whole lot of your Eddie's matches. You're not gonna see a lot of these tag team classics or Kurt Angle classics until we get to the Big Four. And who's to fucking say we're gonna do Big Fours? Because fuck doing Survivor Series traditionals. You know how much that shit is to write down?
I will.
Oh my god.
I will apologize. So Judgment Day, our next episode,
dude, I'm looking at this.
Judgment Day will be the last
card.
one. But then what's even weirder is that we end up having, so it's Judgment Day, and then we do
Bad Blood.
We do an Insurrection.
This is the year after the plane ride from hell.
A week later is Bad Blood. And then we skip Vengeance, we go into SummerSlam, and then Unforgiven, and then we start doing that, but we start doing that brand split there. But like, yeah, I will say, just because we just went off of our current day Survivor Series, and we also are talking about The Rock and it being his anniversary, everyone trolling the internet community about The Rock not being at Survivor Series this year was the funniest shit.
Fucking awesome.
They were just, the amount of memes that came out immediately about someone that has the most insane schedule. Like, no shit, he wasn't gonna be there. Like,
he showed up for Impact.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just saying, dude. I mean, not to take away from Impact, because like I watched Turning Point this last weekend. I don't know if anyone else did. Turning Point's was fucking awesome. I enjoyed it a lot. Oh, fucking 100%. It was better than this year's Survivor Series, without a fucking doubt.
Oh man.
What, Mike?
Oh man. I just want to read you this fucking pay-per-view that we have to cover next week, because this is fucked. And you'll understand the exact match I'm talking about. No big.
And you're all going to watch it and listen to it, and you're going to be so excited when it drops. Don't worry.
Opening match is Chris Benoit, Rhino, and Spanky versus John Cena, Chuck Palumbo, and John Stambouli, the FBI, with Nunzio. That's fine.
Hell yeah.
Ready for this one, you motherfuckers? You ready for it? La Resistance, Rene Dupree, and Sylvain Grenier versus Scott Steiner and Test with Stacy fucking Keibler. I want to die. I just want to die. Then we have a WWE tag team. I'm not looking at the. I'm literally just looking at the card. I'm not looking at the results. Yeah, WWE tag team ladder match, or tag team title ladder. Team Angle, Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin defending against Eddie Guerrero and Tajiri.
Oh,
yeah.
The Intercontinental title battle royale, which was a vacant title, which was Lance Storm versus Kane versus Val Venus versus Chris Jericho, Christian, Rob Van Dam, Goldust, and Test. Test is on here twice.
Yeah.
Then we had Roddy Piper with Sean O'Hare and Vince McMahon versus
I'm
versus
sorry.
Mr. America with Zach Gowen. This is the fucking time period you fuckers chose.
Oh no! What did we do to ourselves?
Then we get a world heavyweight title match. Triple H defending against Kevin Nash. A world women's title match.
Wait,
fatal four-way match.
If I don't want to speak out of turn, but I think it's actually either like a no disqualification match or some kind of match for the Triple H one. So like,
it doesn't say anything about the world heavyweight title.
It might be. I don't know. Torn quads, blood. That's all I want.
I think that match is a no DQ, or it ends in a DQ, and the one after it.
Yeah, whatever.
Spoilers,
way,
whatever. We get a women's title fatal four-way match. Jazz defending. She has Theodore Long in her corner, defending against Jacqueline, Trish Stratus, and Victoria with Steven Richards. And then our main event is a stretcher match for the WWE Heavyweight title. Brock Lesnar defending against The Big Show.
Oh God.
From Charlotte, North Carolina, of fucking course.
North Carolina.
Oh Lord.
Oh Jesus.
Fellas, anything else y'all want to say before I get us the hell out of here? Mr. America.
I
can't even fucking believe
Mr. America, dude. I can't wait to fucking.
Oh, Pat's back next week too.
Oh,
yeah.
This is gonna be hell. Oh man, this is gonna be bad news bears. Oh Lord.
Yeah, well, I believe that does it
Oh,
for this edition of the Up and Over podcast. We what?
I wasn't sure if you were
busting.
busting it. You want me to bust it? That's all. Go ahead, Buck.
I'm here. I believe this is the wrap up here for the Up and Over podcast, and this episode has not been the greatest when it comes to the event.
The content.
But we're glad that you're all here. Please spread the word. Hopefully soon we what?
This fucking episode sucked ass, and next week's not on any better pace.
Content
Next
wise,
week is not
quality.
on any
We deliver.
any better.
we
Yeah,
deliver,
no, for
but
sure.
I-
You listen for one fucking. That's because we whoop ass. These fucking pay-per-views are so bad. They're
Yo.
so bad.
Yo, Whisker.
And they're only
Biscuit,
gonna
bitch.
get worse.
Yeah, you whisker biscuit, bald-headed
Bald-headed
bitch. It's
bitch.
good shit.
All right, for real. That's it for this edition of the Up and Over podcast. We thank you all for being here. Please spread the word. We do not have advertisements just yet. We're just on the verge. If we can just reach this percentage that we are just so close to, I can get better light. And Michael won't have to yell at me for 30 minutes before we press go.
That's true.
And it would mean the world to us. Follow us on Spotify and subscribe on Apple and all those good iTunes things. And you can find us on YouTube as well. And we appreciate you all for being here. My name is Cortland Glenn. That is Big Money Mike and the ever sweet moving to sad ass Kansas Casey El Gordo. We thank you all for being here. And fuck Michael Cole.
Fuck Michael Cole. Yes.